Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Hockey House. You may know us from the popular hockey website, thehockeyhouse.net. I'm Steve Ellis.
I'm Brendan Saunders.
And Brendan, we have a guest today.
We do. It's this nice wall. Oh my God, what a beautiful color of blue.
I don't think that's actually this.
When did we have another guest?
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Harrison Caines. I play for Minor Midget Toronto Titans, and we're playing a pretty good season this year.
Yeah, so how do you and Brendan know each other?
His grandmother, Ellis and Saunders, we met through her, and we played on pond hockey on my pond.
That's great.
For I don't know, like 3 years ago, and we stayed connected ever since.
Interesting note, when I was in grade 11, Harrison's 5 years younger than me, but he was in grade 6 and taught me how to shoot, so that was great. When I came back to my own hockey, they were like, what, who taught you how to shoot? Well, it was a grade 6. Oh, okay.
So you had the 3 or 4 times to take a shot a season.
It was like, yeah! But then when I came back, it was like, oh.
His shooting percentage was really good. He just didn't shoot a lot, but
That's true.
it worked. So anyways.
Yeah, well, Harrison, actually, because you're in the minor midget year, it's such an important year for, I guess, everyone in the minor midget year, although I do think midget development is great. How's that going so far?
So far, so good. The season, we started off well. We beat the Marlies last night, 4-2. That's a huge team win for us.
Yeah, the Marlies typically is one of the better
powerhouse.
teams every year, so that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's always big to beat the Marlies. So if we win tonight, we're in 4th place. The season's been going well. Our last couple games weren't doing so well, but we got back on track and we won our last one, and hopefully carries through tonight.
Well, can you, is there like, I know every year is important because you want to do well every year, but is there an emphasis on minor midget? Do you see guys and their play evolve, guys you've played with, maybe yourself as well, guys, are they bringing it to a next level just because of this year?
Especially because there's a lot of scouts involved.
I'd like to say no, every year is important, but clearly there's some more pressure there.
Yeah.
Considering there's like a bunch of scouts at every game. You want to make it to the OHL, you want to impress every scout, but every year is important. You want to play good every year. It doesn't change much, like the way you play. How
long ago did you kind of figure that you want to continue playing hockey and at this high of a level and maybe even like do something with it?
Definitely ever since I put on the skates, since I was 2 years old. I loved the game ever since. Scoring goals, love to do it. Skating, it's a great passion of mine. I love hockey.
Now, actually, not every person gets to say this, but you have an actually interesting fact about your dad as well playing hockey. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Sure. He's been my role model ever since getting drafted 4th round by the New York Rangers. Played a couple exhibition games there. Then he went to play for Team Canada, made it. Unfortunately, he had a bad injury, blowing out his knees. But what a great role model for me. Yeah. Yeah,
no, he played some. Yeah, I saw that picture. He played with some really good players. You see that Reinhardt was there, the Reinhardt family, of course, and you saw that.
Paul Reinhardt, I'm assuming?
Yeah, yes. Paul Reinhardt. But there were a lot of great players on that team, and to say you played with those guys who made it to the NHL and were good NHL players, it's quite an accomplishment. So it's really cool. Now, this is your first year with the Toronto Titans organization. What is your thoughts on the Toronto Titans organization?
It's a tough working group.
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite team I've played on so far. Everybody comes to the rink prepared, happy. There's like a family build. Everyone's smiling. It's a great team. I love it.
Now, what's your because you played in the OMHA as well.
For the Markham Waxers.
Yeah, Markham Waxers. Those good times. That's when you taught me how to shoot. I was like,
that was a good time.
But with the OMHA and the GTHL, is it a total change? You have to change your game, or is it more just trying to, you're playing good competition in both leagues, but are you trying to play different? Is there something the GTHL, the OMHA brings to the different style of players? Is it kind of the same, just work hard, kind of shoot the puck, do the same stuff?
No, for sure. The GTHL is, I find, coming into the league, it's much faster paced than the OMHA. The OMHA have some great teams for the likes of this year, Ajax, Pickering. But my first year last year, it was a much faster paced league I found, and I had to adapt through that aspect.
No, for sure. Like we're seeing this year with Ajax, Pickering. So, saying that and saying how there's good teams, how well do you think you guys can go in the season? Do you think you can go all the way OHL Cup finalists?
For sure, I'm fully confident we could do that this year. Go to the OHL Cup. That's our team goal ever since day one. We started on this team.
That's awesome. We're going to go to break shortly. When we come back, we want to talk about kind of your future, because we know that's a key thing to think about. It must be scary to think about that at that age.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But anyways, we're going to go to break, and we'll be back shortly.
All right.
Welcome back to the Hockey House. Now, Harrison, again, you're young. How old? 16?
15, turning 16 next year.
Like that's unbelievable. That's like to have to think about your future is kind of a crazy thing. I know that was for me for sure. So, have you thought about what happens after the season, or is it just get through the season and then see kind of what happens?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just focusing on this season right now. I haven't thought too much about the future. Just day in and day out, focusing on working my hardest each and every game.
Now, is there a player through, because we ask all these players, and of course you mentioned your dad as well as your role model, is there any player that you saw, man, he did really well, the steps he took to get there, either OHL, NCAA, going back to midget, playing a lower level junior A, junior A, is there any player that you keyed on that you said, hey, I really want to be like him? Other than your dad, of course, because Doug, good job. You got drafted by the Rangers. I never got drafted by the Rangers. That's pretty sweet.
Hey, you still have time.
Yeah, I do actually. I'll be like Mark Streit, drafted 26. I mean, there you go. But any player at all that you kind of, well, model your game after, but also kind of look at if you can take the same path or just a similar, like, hey, I want to be like that guy.
Growing up, there's a bunch of players I could list, but I think right now, Connor McDavid, of course.
Oh, Jesus, no! God, Lord!
To put some perspective, Brendan is not a fan of Connor McDavid for
Jesus.
some reason.
No.
But
Oh, God, some reason, the guy,
an amazing
he
player.
stunk in the under-18s when I was watching.
that matters today,
Oh,
right?
no, wait, I'm not done yet. So, okay, so the under-18s, he did the Marley start. He was like, I used to play for the Toronto Marlboro, and then 2 games, stunk! And those were the important games, too. They almost lost. If Phil DeRozier wasn't there, they would have been squat diddly out of luck. But also, playoffs, OHL
disagree.
playoffs.
And anyways,
World
back.
Juniors, first one, woo! That was bad. 2014, Lord jeez, my God.
We've been through this so many times. Anyways, back to what you're saying.
I just think he's the perfect player.
Oh, God. Okay.
Like, if you look at his stride, how fast he can accelerate through the neutral zone, getting into the offensive zone, driving wide. I mean, like, he scores goals. He's in the top points this year in the NHL. Like, he's the youngest captain. He's a great role model for younger players and for his own team.
Now, we were talking about the captaincy. We were kind of talking about the show briefly, and we're talking about what do you think about, because we were talking about that, what do you think about young guys getting, because we've seen Gabriel Landeskog, Jonathan Toews, now McDavid, Sidney Crosby. What are your thoughts on captaincy at such a young age, and can players at that age really, do they really have the motivation to say, hey, 30-year-old, what's his name? You've been an NHL All-Star 3 times. Do this, do that kind of thing. Or what's your experience been with kind of captains? I know you guys are still 15 and 16, but what's your experience with that stuff?
Yeah, I agree with that in part. I think the younger players, I mean, of course, there's the veterans. I mean, I think in a way they still listen to them. But I think if the younger player shows and does his part and is playing that amazing, for example, like Connor McDavid, I think if they're showing how they can play and the best of their ability, and they're the best player on the team, they're being a leader on and off the ice. I think for sure, younger player could in fact be the captain.
I know you're not thinking too much about the future, but let's say 5 years, what would be a personal goal of yours?
5 years would be to get drafted into NHL and hopefully play. That's my true goal.
Do you have any advice you'd like to give? Because we know there'll be a lot of younger viewers. What advice would you give someone who's maybe like, let's say, 10 or 12 years old, thinking like, I could do something with this. Do I have what it takes? And kind of like, what would you say to them?
Really, just enjoy it. I think that's key. Every game, just enjoy it. Play your heart out, and success will come.
No, sorry, back to the Cavs. So have you noticed with your age group, is there guys stepping up now? Like, we know that now is the time where you're going to go play with older players. You're going to play with guys who are, well, you're an exceptional player, going to play with guys 5 years old. You play in the GMHL, you play with guys who are 40 years old. But that's not a joke, really. Their age group is outstanding.
No, actually, technically it is.
Okay, it's 22 or 23, but still, like, my God. After 22, I'd be like, yeah, time to go. But at this age group, do you see guys kind of taking like the bull by the horns, going, "Hey guys, let's do this kind of captaincy," or is it just kind of same thing you've noticed throughout your career as a younger guy, or is there a big thing this year?
Yeah, for sure. But I think the great teams, like the top 5 teams in the GTHL, have a bunch of players on the team, not just 1 or 2, but there is a couple in the dressing room who obviously do like to take charge and play, but the top 5 teams have all of those kinds of
I'm going to have to cut you off, unfortunately. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Harrison.
No problem. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
And we're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a controversial issue in the NHL, hitting. welcome back to the Hockey House. Now, Brendan, we learned something after Harrison left. It actually turns out that his cousin is
nobody.
No.
No, it's actually, so as we were unpacking, Harrison was saying goodbyes. Doug, his dad, came in and said, hey, you forgot to mention your cousin. My cousin? Who's his cousin? Max Jones, London Knights, first round pick of the Anaheim Ducks.
Yes, good friend of Sean Day.
Oh my God. My God.
Forgot to mention that. Anyways, you also have something that you brought today.
Okay, this is from the bowels of my dad's hockey career. Not literally like pulling it out of his bowels, but it's pulling up from someplace. But dun dun. Oh no, wait, took the wrong way. So this is our. I know usually I don't pull out the threads. I usually do this. So this is our thread of the week. So back when my dad was a 19-year-old, he played.
It's like 57 years ago.
Yeah, like 1842, before hockey was even invented. So he played as a 19-year-old. He played in back in the Industrial League, so you could hit in men's hockey, and that was a problem because there were 11 bench balls a game. So that was a problem. But the good news is they had good competition, and his coach was an old Scottish boxer who beat up one of the players for cheap shotting his son. So I mean, it was a great league to be a part of. I'm sure, as a 19-year-old playing with a bunch of 30-year-olds, and they were former junior players, so they must have been good. So that was our thread of the week. Yeah, it was.
It was yours for one. So
I know that was my first one, I think. So celebration.
All right,
my thread.
I want to talk quickly about, actually not quickly, but I want to talk about something that's been kind of a controversial topic, specifically with the Toronto Maple Leafs with their last game against Vancouver.
Yes.
So Mr. Nazem Kadri hit, was it Henrik Sedin or Daniel Sedin?
It was one of
It was Daniel Sedin. Hit Daniel Sedin in the head. And even though the head was not the principal point of contact necessarily, and he didn't leave his skates, the question was, should hits like that be outlawed? And my personal opinion, I'll start with this one. I say any hit to the head is extremely important to eliminate. We saw what happened to Mark Savard. We've seen what happened to a lot of players. Concussion issues happen in a lot of sports. It's a big issue right now in NASCAR, for example. It's an issue that needs to be addressed. And I think one of the rules, that type of hit is not a suspendable hit by their own rules. You can't blame the NHL Department of Player Safety. You got to blame the NHL rulebook for that right now, and I think that's kind of concerning that players can get hit like that and nothing happens. Like, you know what? Technically he got the correct penalty for it. He didn't get suspended for it, but at the same time, is it a hit that should be pretty much banned?
Well, no, I think
Michelle, here before you continue, I know you like very physical hockey. I know you're a big fan of that, and I am too. But you also got to take account that. Players are stronger and faster than before, so head hits can do a lot of damage.
No, yeah, for sure. And one thing, concussions are a big thing now. Back in the day, there were no concussions because no one gave two heads about it.
Well, yeah, the concussion diagnosing situation was nowhere as important at all.
Yeah, so I definitely think, because Mark Savard was my favorite player, and when I saw that little dirtbag Matt Cook, if I ever see him, I'll hit him in the knees with the bar, take him out twice and ended his career, and that was terrible for Boston because they just signed him to a 7-year extension, but also terrible for Mark Savard because he was a good player and he's getting hit by this little dirtbag. But no, I think definitely, I think it could be a lack of respect. People just don't give anymore, and you got to hit. But also, Don Cherry made a good point of saying, Nazem Kadri hit this guy. It's a 5-2 game. Like, what are you doing? And
yeah, exactly. Like, what was the purpose of that hit?
Yeah.
Like, I understand trying to send a message, but I get the idea if you're sending a message when you're losing 5-2. Or when you're losing like 7-0, or losing 10-0 Montreal.
Shea Weber he's going to win the Norris. He was on for no goals against. I'm saying it right now. I wanted to say that. Shea Weber's winning the Norris. Bam, boom, bam, chicken hand. There you go. But no, I think it's definitely, it's not, and also the guy Hansen fought Nazem Kadri after it. The guy gets a freaking instigating penalty, and it's like, oh my God, like help me, geez, like get in and throw that rule out of there because some guy's hitting you in the head.
I agree with that one.
Like you're going after him. That's like, because I mean, it's not like I don't know what these people think. Like instigating people are just going to drop the gloves when they're going to pull a Colton Orr, and when you're on a breakaway, someone's going to fight you. But no, it's a terrible rule. Like if someone's hitting you in the head, like I had a different opinion with hits from behind. Because at the same time, people are coming this way.
I know what you're going to say.
There's leeway of do they know they're coming and do they turn their back purposely? Because I know when I played, it wasn't contact, but I would turn my back so no one can get the puck. And is it the same way? I know the players are physical now, And there's all sorts of like dingo rules where you can't hit through the knees or you get 3 lashes in the knees.
I agree with you on the fact that, yeah, like when it's hitting behind, if the player turns around and makes himself vulnerable on purpose,
Yeah.
I have very little sympathy for that.
Yeah.
It's when a player is defenseless, has no way of defending themselves, like Sedin.
Yeah.
And that's the hits we need to get rid of. Because, again, we've seen it happen to Savard. We've seen players go through major physical trauma because of it. And it's something that needs to go away because, like, you know what? Apparently, the Columbus Blue Jackets GM, the GM of the team who just won 10-0, said that he was trying to outlaw hits like the one we saw, Kadri Deliver, and couldn't get the vote across, which I thought was strange. You know, like these guys, the owners should be caring about what happens to the players. They should be the ones that are fighting to make sure that none of these players get hurt. Because all it takes is Crosby to get hit in the head again, and
what happens? Done, I think.
Like that could be an awful
one more concussion, his career's probably done. But you know, it is hard because you know we say why don't they outlaw these hits, and it does come fast. I think it's pretty cowardly if you chicken wing someone right in the head. But at the same time, it does go pretty fast, and these people, they're trying to hit. I hate that term, finish your check, because it's like hitting's only supposed to separate someone from the puck.
Yeah, finishing the check a lot of time actually takes you out of the play.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what are you doing?
Like if a guy is going into the boards, passes the puck, and then you hit him like a second later, like before the interference becomes a play. Well, you just wasted that time. You should have turned back and gotten the puck.
No, yeah, honestly, like people get that rule wrong. Where like, oh, I do like physical old-time hockey. I think that's really important. That separates it from basketball. You don't have guys doing whatever they want. Suddenly, they have to play physical. At the same time,
surprised you didn't use soccer as an example.
Yeah, well, I mean, ladies soccer is pretty physical.
Oh, like, ladies soccer, women's soccer, I think is like actually really entertaining.
Yeah, I think that's how football is.
Men's soccer, I can't find interesting in the slightest.
Especially Spain and Italy. My God, I know my cousins are Spanish, but Lord, what was going on there? At the same time, I know the different argument is plays happen fast. You don't. Sometimes your head's down. All you see is this. Your hands go up. Boom, you're in the head. So at the same time, I can see why they voted it down, because they're like, well, what do we do? Do we stop play every time someone's shoulder comes up and we blow the whistle and then say Colton Norris on a breakaway? And then, so I can see the argument.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's bound to happen one time.
Well, here's one thing. You don't see these types of hits happen in European hockey. Almost always see it in the NHL.
No, yeah, and NHL is definitely an emphasis more on physical. I think European does. I do like
that's more about speed, skill, and passing.
Yeah, no, and I do like the crease rule, especially in Europe. I like that when you're not allowed to step in the crease, because right now the NHL is just like, hello, my baby, hello, my darling, step in the crease all day, scoring goals like that, empty net finisher. So, but I definitely see both sides. Game happens fast. On the other thing, you don't want to see great players getting injured. And no, it's true. I do see both sides, but I definitely am not in favor of getting chicken winged in the head.
I agree with that one. You got to get rid of the bad hits, but at the same time, things happen. Can't always protect it from it. Anyways, that's it for NHL. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to do Brendan's favorite segment, the CHL Roundup. See you soon. Welcome back to the Hockey House. Now, Brendan, I know you and I make a lot of jokes, but unfortunately, there was some sad news. Marek Svatos used to play in the NHL, had, I believe, 32 goals in his first season.
Yeah, 50 points.
Really good player for Colorado. Also played a couple other teams. He unfortunately passed away in Colorado. Very sad news. You never like to hear anything like that.
34, too. It's a young guy.
34 years old. More positive news, though. Jake Ingham played really well for Team Canada. Was it Team Canada Black? Yes.
Yeah, silver medalist.
Canada Black, silver medalist at the World Under-17 Challenge. Now it's your favorite segment, though.
Yeah, speaking of junior player, speaking of Svatos, played with Kootenay Ice, played in the WHL. Let's talk about the CHL. All these guys in the Under-17s are from the CHL, so I will start in the WHL since that's where Kootenay's from. So I'll start at my team of the week. My team of the week is the Madison Hat Tigers. I know everyone's like, Madison Hat, you're crazy. They haven't been good for years. No. I know. So last week I mentioned Mason Shaw, but he's a big contributor on Madison Hat. Mason Shaw, they got Chad Butcher, they got Steve Owner, and they have a lot of good players. Like, I mean, Madison Hat, Regina is really good, but I definitely think Madison Hat they have the right age group to compete, so I definitely think Madison Hat, boom, bam, chicken ham. Speaking of old teams, my OHL team, the Oshawa Generals. And I know you're all like, Oshawa, they won 2 years ago. They have to stink. No, they don't. And last year I said they were going to be a good team. They weren't a good team. Michael Cole had a bit of problems at the beginning of the season.
Got traded.
Yeah, he did get traded, which is good because they got all their draft picks back. When you win a Memorial Cup, I think your only goal should be try to make the playoffs, because some teams make it to the Memorial Cup and flame out the next season. Made the playoffs. this year they're doing quite well. They have, Anthony Cirelli's playing off the wall good. He got the ice time, he's doing well. Van Stompel's doing well. Andropov, at this point, Andropov has 8 points in 17 games plus 7. At the beginning of the season, he had like 4 points in 15 games. He's really started to heat up in the last couple of games. I'm really happy about that. Now my QMJ.
I thought you were going to say cucumbers.
Here's my cucumbers peeling all day. How you doing? QMJHL team is the Blainesville Boisbriand Armada. Now I talked about Joel Tesdale. I really like him. Really, really good player. Plus 14 already. He's a good centerman. But no, they're a team that is just, it's weird. They don't have a lot of offense, but somehow they win. I don't particularly like Sam Monteval from Florida, but he's on the team, and they find a win. But yeah, so that's my team. So my player of the week in the WHL. So most people will go like this. Wait, Fiala, Kevin Fiala. No, it's not Kevin Fiala. It's Evan Fiala. And most people probably have no idea who he is. He plays for the Spokane Chiefs. He's the captain. Man, this guy is tough. This guy is like.
Is he Swiss too? Is he related?
Oh man, well his name's Evan Fiala.
Okay.
And I mean Kevin Fiala. This guy is tough. Like if I had to compare him to any game, any player, I'd say Gord Kluzak, first overall pick of Boston Bruins. Unfortunately, his career ended because he had terrible knee problems. That guy was as tough as nails, and he was a good defenseman. Evan Fiala, if anybody's watching, if any NHL scouts are watching, go see this guy play. The guy is an unbelievably tough fighter, but even more than a fighter, like the guy knows, like, if you're coming to the net, he's knocking you flat in your can.
Well, maybe producer Sam can send you out there.
Yeah, Spokane Chiefs, great player. Great. Okay, go to the OHL Erie Otters, for the second week in a row. I know this never happens. Taylor Radish. I know last week I said it, but my lord, if this guy doesn't make the World Junior team, I'm literally gonna blow up. 39 points, 15 games, plus 26. Unbelievable. He takes I wanted to say Jeremy Baracco because he's so good, but Radish takes my second in a row in the OHL because he's just okay. QMJHL, Nicholas Waugh, former first overall pick of the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, plays in the Chicoutimi Sagawinki /Saganets. 23 points.
Is that what they call the Sagawinki?
Yeah, Mark Vizali. He has 23 points in 15 games. He's plus 9. At the beginning of the season, he had a bit of tough luck, but no, he's really picked it up. He's a good pick for Carolina. I think fourth round pick. Guy was a steal. Really good steal. Okay, now my prospects. So we're back to the WHL. A goalie that I thought should have got drafted. He didn't get drafted. I think he played really well last year. Plays in Victoria. Griffin Outhouse. Great name, but no, he's a good goalie. Plays for Victoria Royals. I think if you're looking for a goalie, he's a 98, so he's definitely a steal. But I think
is he almost like your what was the goalie you really liked that played? I believe it was Portland.
Oh, Aiden Hill. Yeah,
Aiden Hill. Yes.
Aiden Hill. Yeah, Aiden Hill was great, man. Yeah, but Griffin Outhouse. Carter Hart's good, but I say Griffin Outhouse is just as good. I think he deserves to get drafted. So in my OHL, my prospect of the week, I know Ryan, one of our producers, said you have to pick Owen Tippett, Mississauga guy. I'm sorry, Owen Tippett. You're going to have to wait a week.
Tippett's really good though.
Yeah, no, he is good. Yeah, 21 points in 70 games. But no, Noah Hoffmeyer. I know people like Noah Hoffmeyer, former former Don Mills Flyer, North York.
Everyone's thinking that, right?
I know everybody is. No, he has 14 points, 16 games plus 1 at this point. Defenseman for the Ottawa 67s. Last year he only had 7 points. Really picked it up. Great player. And the QJHL, my prospect of the week. So he plays on it's Ivan Chickenoff. Well, he plays for the Blake Como Direct Car. I know you're thinking, Blake Como, they made the finals 2 years. No, they stink. They made the finals 2 years in a row, but this year they stink. Last year they were really bad. But the whole team, except for Jones and him, are minus. Not Max Jones, Harrison's cousin, but another Jones. He's also from America. But no, the whole team is minus. This guy is a 1999 prospect, 20 points, 14 games, plus 4. That's plus 4 on a team that averages minus 7.
Brendan, unfortunately, that's all you're going to be able to say.
Said it all.
Of course, he'll be back every week. That's all we have for today's episode of the Hockey House. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter and on the hockeyhouse.net for all episodes of the show. I'm Stephen Ellis.
I'm Brendan Saunders.
Thanks for watching.